Last week, the Monster Mile, we had a ton of attrition that took out almost half the field. Only 13 drivers finished on the lead lap. And in the end, a Sprint Series driver went to victory lane in San Oscar. Well, tonight we're at the Kansas Speedway, and I have a feeling that may all change once again here tonight. We're going to see ourselves a very interesting race here, and a high-speed one at that, in the Great Wolf Lodge 400 in the Wawa Cup Series 2023 season. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Kansas Speedway on a Friday night, the first weekend of May, and this is the best month of racing, no doubt about it. Later on at the end of the month we have the Indianapolis 250 over in the IndyCar Series, but tonight we got ourselves the 13th race of the season here in the Wawa Cup Series 2023 season. This is going to be a fascinating race. As I mentioned in the intro there, Dover was a race of attrition. We saw two major wrecks take out a majority of the field. And at the end of the day, a Sprint Series driver went to victory lane. I don't think we're going to quite see a Sprint Series driver win here tonight. We could see it. Jim Vincent left starting up in the top 20, but you see right there a lot of these stronger drivers starting up front here, and it's going to definitely be a great race to watch with all these strong drivers starting up front here in this race. Starting alongside Stuart Cradden for the call of tonight's event. And Stuart, the last time you were in the booth with me, Echo Evans-Ross went to victory lane at Circuit of the Americas. Lately, though, she has had a very difficult run going into this season. She starts in the 9th position. For a lot of these guys who kind of lost a lot of ground at Dover, what do they need to do to just keep themselves in the race and run up front here at the Kansas Speedway?
Well, obviously the car is going to be very important. You're starting in it, for a lot of the top 10 here. I think all of them in the top 10, with the exception of I think the 23 and the 42. They're all in chase spots themselves, and even the 42 is not too far out of it. And the 23, of course, has the win as well. So it didn't have these guys. A lot of these guys didn't have great runs at Dover, but as long as they could stay out of trouble, they got fast cars starting up at the front, translate the qualifying pace into race pace, stay up at the front. It goes a long way tonight, and particularly for Evans-Ross, as you mentioned, starting up front. I just got to keep clean, to be honest, more than anything else.
And the good thing about this racetrack, unlike the Dover Motor Speedway, it is a little bit easier for these guys to avoid major accidents, as the blind corners here aren't near as blind as they are over at Dover, so hopefully we'll not see a massive 15-car pile-up here tonight like we did last week at the Dover Motor Speedway. But either way, as you mentioned, Stuart, a lot of guys who are in contention for the chase or in the chase right now starting up front in this race. As a matter of fact, the entire top 10 are drivers who are in the top 10 in points or have won this season, or for Tanner Parton's case, right there on the line. So with all those guys starting up front, a great opportunity for all of them to gain more points and put a bit of a cushion on them and the rest of the field. And you see the chase points as we come in. Guy who starts on the pole here tonight, Thomas Troxel, third pole of the season for him, 46 points ahead of the field. It's actually his second pole in a row, by the way. He started on pole last week at Dover. Didn't really have a good car, though, at Dover, interestingly enough, but he still managed to take the points lead away from Matt Tuck, who had an issue in that Dover race. Matt Tuck's 41 points ahead, and then Brad Stover all of a sudden there, third in points, 15 points ahead. It is very tight from Stover on down. Chase Buck only 14 points ahead. Ludovic Charette, a great season for him. He starts 4th here tonight, 12 points ahead. Dylan Matthews, 10 points ahead. LJ Semedo, 8 points ahead. And then Nicholas Samadillo has really fallen off as of late. He actually starts pretty deep in the field in this one, only 4 points ahead of that cutoff. Same with Aliera in the 5, and then Drew Webb managed to sneak his way into the top 10 last week, 3 points ahead. And then you got Tanner Parton starting 3rd, 3 points behind. Seth Cole is 10 points behind, and then Trey Wright, Rogel Dorn, 26 behind respectively. And then we mentioned Echo Evans-Ross, she's 28 behind coming into this race. And you see in the wild card, she currently holds on to the last wild card position with Rogel Dorn just ahead of her there. And then Braden Perez, Crampton, and Blaine Keys, guys who have wins, but still kind of relatively deep in the field, and Perez is another driver who has fallen off as of late. So it's going to be fascinating to see how it all goes down here tonight. But our points leader starts on the pole position in the number 62, and he'll lead us to the green flag alongside Braden Perez, who won at Phoenix earlier this season. Row number 2 sees Tanner Parton in the 42, 11th in the points coming into this race alongside Ludovic Charette, who is 5th in the standings coming in here tonight. Row number 3, Dylan Matthews and Chase Buck. Dylan Matthews is going for his first career win. As a matter of fact, so is Tanner Parton, and Ludovic Charette ahead of him. And Chase Buck trying to get his second win of the season, but he's kind of been falling off a little bit as of late. Matt Tuck, second in the points to the inside of LJ Semedo there in row number 4. Then Echo Evans Ross and Aliera make up row number 5. A very strong top 10 here to start this Great Wolf Lodge 400 at the Kansas Speedway. Make sure everybody's rolling off okay. Stuart, there's so many great drivers to pick just in that top 10 alone. Who do you think is going to get it done here tonight at the Kansas Speedway?
Oh, there are a lot of drivers there or thereabouts in the chase grid, up in the top 10, the playoff grid. I'm going to go for someone outside the top 10 and very much a wild card. I'm going to go Roberto Crown Jr. He's had a lot of misfortune this year. Last time I was in the booth, I picked Echo Evans Ross to win, and she did, so hopefully the same for Roberto Crown Jr.
We'll have to see. Code a little bit easier to predict than Kansas, but that 21 could absolutely use a win and a great one here tonight. Pace cars down the pit lane. We're at the Kansas Speedway here on a Friday night. Let's get it done here in the Great Wolf Lodge 400. Side by side on the first lap of the race, Troxel will get the bonus point, but Tanner Parton, I think, will get the race lead. How about that for the Dog Pound Incorporated driver, Tanner Parton? This might be the first lap that he'll lead all season up to this point. Matt Tuck on Dylan Matthews, Echo Evans Ross on that inside, LJ Semedo. So many strong drivers up front, but how about Tanner Parton in this 42? Trying to hold off Thomas Troxel for the time being. He's going to get a bonus point towards the championship right here as he leads lap 2.
Yeah, but he's got two very fast drivers, and in fact a lot of fast drivers behind him. Of course, Troxel leading the points and Tuck. I mean, those two, the 54 and the 62, they've been clearly the best two this year. And Evans Ross, of course, has had some strong moments as well. She's up into third. Matthews, I mean, Dylan Matthews has been excellent, particularly after the disappointing start of the season. He's 5th. I picked Roberto Crown Jr. up to 6th, so there goes Evans Ross to the inside. The inside lane, definitely the place to be more often than not.
And the outside lane could get a good run, though, off the exit of turn 4, but right here, turns 1 and 2, the inside is definitely the preferred lane as somebody went off. I don't think we got a caution for this. You'll see this in the corner of your screen, and Stuart, I know you're not happy about this one. It looks like it was Justin Zaidel, Sebastian Kukulon, and Seth Cole, and maybe even Logan Williams, who, defending winner of this race, won here 2 years ago under the lights. Not entirely sure what happened there, but you guys have seen that on the corner of your screen, and no caution. Very, very interesting moment right there. Thomas Troxel, interesting moment right here for him. He's closing up to the back bumper of Tanner Parton for the race lead. Here comes Dylan Matthews on his teammate, Echo Evans Ross, but right there, you see the outside lane really work in off the exit of turn 4, and Matt Tuck trying to get this inside lane to work on Matthews. You know, something I've noticed here. I think we're seeing the inside lane be the preferred line in 1 and 2, and the outside lane be the preferred line in 3 and 4. And that really makes for a very unique racetrack when both sides of the racetrack run completely different from each other. Here comes Christian Master. He's a guy who needs a good run here in this series. He was in the chase so much in the earlier part of the season, but he has now fallen back to 19th in points. But a race win for him would change all of that. Try to get around Dylan Matthews, couldn't quite do it. Echo Evans Ross, she's going to peek to the inside of Troxel. That was tight right there for second.
So it was. Troxel didn't want to give up that spot and is going to try and get around on that outside lane. He will. He'll hold on for the time being. LJ Semedo's closed in here as well, the 71. He's had a great year. And Titan Fury Racing have been, you know, they've been under the radar, I think, to be honest with you. Both cars come into this race top 10 in the points, and we've seen the 07 being competitive with Vincent left throughout the year. So I wouldn't be surprised if the 71 were to go to victory lane spot.
Not at all, and it would be Semedo's first career win if he could pull it off here tonight as well. But Tanner Parton has led all but one lap here tonight, and this is definitely a dark horse for this championship, I feel like. He has been quietly just outside that chase bubble. He was actually 10th heading in the Dover. Managed to avoid all the carnage, but still finished near the end of the lead lap there around the 11th, 12th position. Still a great points day for him in comparison to some of the other drivers, and now here he is leading this field of Kansas, trying to hold off our points leader of Thomas Troxel. Meanwhile, we got back here Nicholas Samadillo peeking through the field, and he started quite deep in the field here tonight, but he has worked his way up to the 11th position, now working on 10th behind Braden Perez. As Parton continues to hold on this 62 here. Echo Evans Ross, LJ Semedo, and Dylan Matthews, the top 5. Great run for Hamill Racing Enterprises here tonight. Andrew Miller inside the top 10 as he is to the inside of Roberto Crown Jr.
Yeah, I've got to give credit to Parton. He's done a very, very nice job of keeping that 42 in front, because Troxel has definitely shown a bit of speed at times and has looked to the inside, as Semedo looked to the inside there of Evans Ross. Couldn't get anything done, but has done a very nice job, and now Troxel with a very poor run through turn 4, and Evans Ross may go to the inside here, turn 1.
And she's going to peek to the inside, might bring Semedo and Matthews with her. But Troxel trying to block her there into the corner, and the 39 is going to have a nose down the backstretch, but that outside lane might go to Troxel. Semedo right on the back bumper of the 39, and then Dylan Matthews ready to strike when these guys mess up. Troxel going to get a good run here as Parton went a little low there through the corner, and Troxel coming really quick on our race leader. And right there, that's why Thomas Troxel's our points leader here in the Wawa Cup Series. Moves like that. He's just been finding these advantages all throughout the season. Not quite able to get it on the 42 quite yet, but he's going to have a shot once again. And if he can get in a good run here through turns 3 and 4, he might have an opportunity on Parton. Echo Evans Ross going to try it on the inside in 3 and 4, though. But Troxel's going to have that advantage, and these guys seem to be kind of gridlocked into these top 5 positions right now. They've not really been able to get around each other here, as it does appear to be slightly difficult to make these passes. But Echo Evans Ross, he's going to get it here on Troxel, and Dylan Matthews going to follow suit right there on the inside lane.
Yeah, Echo Evans Ross with that big dive bomb move really drove it into turn 3 to get to the inside of Troxel. Paid off. See Semedo trying to get back under the 47. Good run for Derek Hamill and Hamill Racing Enterprises, second and 4th. Victory lane already once this year. Wouldn't be surprised to see them up there again. Before, look to the inside as well. I'm seeing a lot of these guys up here at the moment. You see Samadillo moving forward. A lot of these guys are going to be there or thereabouts for the championship. So, good to see them up front. But good to see some new faces behind them as well. Guys like Crown and Andrew Miller up in the top 10 as well.
Yeah, good to see Andrew have a good run here tonight. Running 7th right now there for Nathan Norman Motorsports. Now, Nathan always says he's got the worst team in the series, but they've been doing all right, all things considered, with their 2 drivers. And they're right now got a 7th place runners. Look at these guys are just jammed up behind Tanner Parton right now. And Tanner's been doing a great job just kind of blocking these guys behind him. I mean, I don't think he quite has the fastest car, but he's able to find the right line to keep these guys from actually having an advantage. But if Echo Evans Ross sniffs an advantage here down the front stretch, he's going to take advantage of it. Troxel is actually going to take advantage of Echo Evans Ross for second, and they're going to swap back again. And LJ Semedo going to try to swap back on Dylan Matthews. Troxel's going to easily have the advantage here on the 39, and so will Semedo. Maybe on both of those drivers. 2 for 1 there for LJ Semedo. And Matt Took going to be drawn into this battle as well. He's just to the inside there of Dylan Matthews for 5th. And then Christian Master battling there with Andrew Miller. Good run for the 43 in this race. And all these guys are still right on each other. They have not pulled away. They have not spread out at all. Comes to 59 and Nicholas Samadillo, though. He's having a great run up to 9th now. As for 2nd, LJ Semedo takes it on Troxel. And keep in mind, too, I'm not sure if we really mentioned this earlier on, about a 40-lap fuel run for these guys here tonight. So, only 1 stop, and that will definitely determine who gets the race victory. Look at these guys, pal. Some great stuff here at Kansas. Some great racing, and they're able to do it without wrecking either, which is awesome to see. And these 2 guys, Echo Evans Ross, Thomas Troxel, they're still going after it.
Still going after it, but the problem is they're losing time to the 2 leaders who are absolutely pulling away. You see Troxel, a lot of the times we've seen passing here earlier in this race, it's been cars that have been way up the racetrack. So not just slightly out of it, but way up the racetrack. So see, like that, for example, Matthews probably way too high going into the turn, and that's in a position there to Andrew Miller.
Miller with a great run here tonight. He's now up to the 6th position. Matt Tuck trying to find a way around Troxel, and Semedo trying to find a way around Tanner Parton, but no one's been able to get around this 42 all night long. It's led 17 laps so far, coming into this lap right here. I have a good feeling about LJ Semedo here tonight. This could finally be his night. Troxel, you see right there, that way inside lane off the exit of 4 is not where you want to be, and you see the ground loss there from that 62. And here we go. Semedo, will he peek to the inside? Not enough. That 42 has just found a way to keep everyone behind him here, and I am impressed with that. But he's got to get through a cycle of pit stops, and especially if this thing stays green, it might be a little bit difficult to do with these guys having to come down for 4 tires and fuel. Sam Medeo, though, great run for him here tonight. He's got the 3rd fastest lap of the race. Trey Wright and Chris Reynolds out of him. They're further back in the field. Gonna focus here again. Looks like Parton's got a bit of a gap here, and it's calmed down up front for now. How about the Racing Motorsports guys? Both top 10. Christian Master in 9th and Eric Monaco in 10th. Got Perez and Drew Webb. Great run for him. Aliera with 13th place right now. Roberto Crown Jr. down to 14th. How about Wednesday night's winner, Joe Rutkowski? Finally got a race victory there in the Wawa Sprint Series. He's the inside of Fitzwater. Ludovic Charette fell back after starting on the outside. As he comes into this race inside the chase, he's 17th right now, but a lot of these other chasers are running high in the field. Chase Buck, though, is not. He's currently 18th right now. Bernardo de Oliveira, first career start in the Cup Series, 2nd on the channel. Had a great run on Wednesday night in the Sprint Series. He's 19th. Brady Mardi Gras, Mason Brown in the 4. Brian Webb, Jim Vinceleff, Talladega winner Rogel Dorn, Blaine Keys, won at Texas earlier this season. Hightower, Reynolds, Laura Chung, Logan Williams, who won this race 2 years ago. Trinity Ida, Travis Crampton deep in the field. Trey Wright, Fisher G. It's been tough seasons for those guys. Brad Stover, now this is a surprise right here. Brad Stover, 35th right now. Comes into this race 3rd in the point standings. Almost won last week at Dover. But he has not had a good run here tonight at Kansas. Meanwhile, LJ Semedo under fire from Echo Evans Ross. She moved back up, looking to take that 2nd position back away from Semedo. And they're now closing in on Sebastian Kukulon, and it's Talladega all over again, as this 52 is a bit off the pace here.
Now, I'm not sure what happened. I'm sure, obviously, the replay would have been shown earlier on, but geez, Kukulon, again, being getting damaged, and hopefully not too much of an effect here. Parton's got to get to the inside here, otherwise Echo Evans Ross definitely will. And try and take that lead away. And make the move now.
I put that 52 on the wall again. But Parton able to hold on here. I'm intrigued to see. He's been doing an excellent job blocking these guys behind him, but you really can't block him on the pit lane, and that may be where Tanner Parton loses this race. We're going to have to see. Sam Medeo and Matt Tuck up front here. And we're seeing so many guys who could be a threat for this championship. I feel like the big 3, and I know Sam Medeo's had a couple of tough runs as of late, but I feel like the big 3 right now is Troxel, Matt Tuck, and Sam Medeo. And I know Sam Medeo hasn't won a race yet, but once he gets a race win, those floodgates are going to open, and I feel like he's going to get a lot of victories there. Of course, this team won with Sam and Ozkin last week at Dover. They're obviously a great team, and Sam Medeo has shown that this season. I know Logan Williams has been on the opposite end of that this season there in that 95, but Logan Williams still trying to get something to go his way. Finished 2nd last week at Dover. And here we go for the race lead. Echo Evans Ross gonna finally dethrone this 42 for the top position, and she's gonna take it away on lap 27. Gotta give credit to Tanner Parton, though. He may end up getting the most laps led here tonight, which is going to go a long way in trying to make it into that top 10 in points. Thomas Troxel there. LJ Semedo, and here comes Sam Medeo on Matt Tuck. That is for the 5th position. And Andrew Miller with these guys as well. And Semedo's still ahead of these guys there in the 4th position. All these guys right on each other still, and we're 28 laps into this race.
A lot of it has been Parton just holding everyone up just a little bit. Not quite the fastest car. Did a very good job holding on to the lead for as long as he did, because I think Evans Ross and Troxel, those cars are just a bit quicker at the moment. But Evans Ross, and she needs a 2nd win, to be honest with you, because down in the points, and with more cars, we look at the grid at the moment, you probably need really at least 1 win, probably 2. If you're not going to make the chase. So, Right
Well,
now, in
and
good
keep in
position.
mind, too, Stuart, that it's not the amount of wins you have, it's the amount of points that you have. So if you got to win, you're in the wild card race, and it's the top 2 guys in points who have wins outside the top 10. So that extra win, it gives her the points, but it doesn't give her an advantage over someone who has 1 win who may have more points than her. But regardless of the fact, she needs a good run here. Top 5 run would be huge, and of course a win awards the most points, but Tanner Parton took the lead right back away from her there. And how about this 42 here tonight? Now, we've seen some upset wins at Kansas in real life before. I'm not saying this is a full-on upset considering how well Tanner's been doing at the points, but this team, they haven't been up to par with guys like Pacific Racing and Grattan Autosport, Appalachian Motorsport in terms of running up front a lot. They've been running very consistently, but just not up front. Well, they're running up front right now with Tanner Parton. And we're going to have to see how they all fare on the pit lane. Andrew Miller up to 4th in the 88 here. This is another dark horse pick for this win. We got all these guys who have won races this season or have contended for wins this season. And we got some guys who have not contended for race victories this season who are running up front here. So it's a good mix of guys. But I'd say anyone from San Mateo on up can have a shot at winning this race. And they're all over the place here battling for these positions.
Good to see Miller up here. He hasn't had a great year, and I must admit I didn't know about that wild card, so I apologise. It's my fault.
It's all right.
But
it's a bit confusing. we try to keep it straight, try to explain it every once in a while.
Yeah, no, it's good to know. But yeah, obviously, Miller needs the win because right now currently sitting 21st in points, so just in the bottom half. But not too far behind Perez, and not too far behind Dawn and Evans Ross. So. Gets a win tonight, puts him well and truly in the mix for a spot.
Here he is running in the 3rd position now. We'll have to see how well his pit crew can do here as we're closing in on green flag pit stops and just about halfway through this Great Wolf Lodge 400 at Kansas. Been caution-free so far here under the lights. Maybe one of the faster races that we have this season. Of course, the past couple of races have been over an hour long. Maybe we'll cut under an hour finally. Give you guys a little bit more time to, sleep or something. Nicholas Samadillo here on Dylan Matthews. He's had an excellent race so far for Appalachian Motorsports. They're going for 2 in a row here in the Wawa Cup Series. Obviously, one with Sam and Oskin last week. Dylan Matthews going for his first career win on the channel. And Thomas Troxel going for his 3rd win of the season. Winner. Oh, he's on the apron. What is going on?
Keys.
Something happened. I'm not sure if Keys was slow ahead of them or what, but Troxel with an issue. He had an opportunity at taking the race lead away, hit the apron, and completely lost all of his momentum. Here comes Miller in the 88 looking for 2nd. Then Matt Tuck closed in on Echo Evans Ross, and Tanner Parton was able to pull away a little bit there. That was strange. But Blaine Keys, like you mentioned, on the pit lane, he's got an issue. He's a lap down there. It's a tough break for Blaine Keys, who won at Texas. He's going to fall back even further in the points, and not looking good for Blaine Keys as Tanner Parton trying to get out of the way for Justin Zidell, who's coming down the pit lane. Of course, those 2 guys, Zidell and Kuklon, were caught up in that accident earlier on that did not bring out a caution. That's why they're coming in a little bit earlier. But all our race leaders now jammed up right on each other, and Parton's still leading this field. We got 30 laps to go next time by here at Kansas. These guys are going to be coming down the pit lane very shortly as Andrew Miller to the inside. I think we may be seeing some of these guys come down right here. Parton, Troxel, Miller, Echo Evans Ross, Matthews, Samedo, Drew Webb, Allier, a lot of guys in the back right there. Battle for the race lead between Matt Tuck and Nicholas Samadillo right now. And Samadillo is going to be the provisional race leader for the time being. We're going to focus on these race leaders here, see what they do. Tanner Parton has led the most laps here tonight in this Great Wolf Lodge 400. We'll see what he does on the pit lane, if he can beat out Troxel and these guys who came down with him. I would imagine it's going to be a 4-tire stop for all these drivers. The tire wear does come into effect here at Kansas just a little bit. We'll see what this 42 can do, but Thomas Troxel, of course, won the pole. He's got that first pit stall, and that could give him an advantage here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm curious to see with Samadillo. Chris Reynolds has stayed out. He's the leader. But obviously Tuck and Samadillo, Master, Tanner Parton. Oh, we got a problem here for Troxel. A bit slow on the stop.
Yeah, a little bit of a slow entry. Not too bad. A great stop for Tanner Parton. And Tanner may be in a position to possibly steal this one. And these guys are going to have those fresher tires ahead of these guys who just came down. Sam Adio led these guys down, and you mentioned Stewart. Chris Reynolds still out there. He still has to come down the pit lane for his pit stop. Here's Sam Adio in the 59. He's going to beat Matt Tuck. Easily going to beat Matt Tuck off the pit lane. Matt Tuck may have had an issue coming in here. He's going to lose some ground. Here's the 59. Where is Tanner Parton in the 52? There is the 42. Not the 52. He's in the 42. 52 has had a bit of a tough night. This is going to be tight here. I think Parton's going to get the advantage initially, but Sam Adio is not going to be too far behind, and watch out. Mr. Edge may return here tonight. We had a photo finish in the Sprint Series race. I'd watch out for that 59, possibly pulling it off, but we've cycled through Tanner Parton. He'll surpass Chris Reynolds there, and Parton back to the race lead, but Sam Adio now second there for Appalachian Motorsports.
Great stop by the 59. And moved his way up quite a fair bit and is already catching the 42. It may be his night tonight. This 59 is, he's done a great job moving his way through the field.
He's got it right here.
He's got a very good run.
Not even close. Nicholas Sam Adio to the inside of Tanner Parton for the race lead. And he's going to make that one look easy. Great run for Drew Webb in the 99 up to 4th. Troxel there in 3rd. Echo Evans Ross is 5th. Eric Monaco, Christian Master, Dylan Matthews, Joe Rutkowski, Rogel Dorn, and LJ Semedo. Matt Tuck, that was a little uncharacteristic out of you guys right there. 16th now for the 54, but still a long ways left to go in this race and a good opportunity for him to move up. But battling there with Chris Reynolds, Braden Perez, that was tough. And Rutkowski getting edgy there with Dylan Matthews. That was a tight one there between those two drivers. Great run for Christian Master, able to stay inside the top 10. Same with his teammate Eric Monaco. Aaron Abel's team finally getting a good run here overall. Echo Evans Ross still in 5th. How about Drew Webb now up to 3rd as he gets around Troxel? But I'm telling you, that right there may have just been the pass for the race win. Nicholas Sam Adio ahead of Tanner Parton. And this 59 has consistently been one of the fastest cars on the racetrack as he started midway through the field and just sliced through the field to get up to the front.
He made the 42. He obviously saw that the 42 was so hard to pass for a lot of the drivers, and made very quick work of it, of Parton. So I tell you what, Drew Webb though, he's had a couple of very good runs this year. A couple of, I think, like 3 top 5s on the year. Best finish of 2nd a couple of times. So he's up to 3rd. Very quiet so far throughout, but a good pit stop, good strategy. He's up to 3rd, and that car looks fast.
It does, and Titan Fury Racing. I think you were talking about it earlier on. These guys have had a really good year with LJ Semedo and Drew Webb. They had a great race when Igor was in the booth last week at Dover. They avoided all the carnage, and they managed to get both of their cars into the chase. And if they run where they are right now, both top 10, they will remain in those positions. I'm impressed with Rogel Dorn. Got that win at Talladega. We kind of thought that was a bit of a wild card win for him, but then showed a lot of strength at Dover, led a lot of laps there, and now he's kind of backing it up with a solid top 10, close to top 10 run here. How about Mason Brown? What's with these Sprint Series drivers, man? I tell you, they're getting buggy. One thing, back in the old Cup Series days when we had the hot seat and all that, we'd have a lot of those guys win the Cup races, but everyone was on equal ratings. Well, now they're not on equal ratings anymore, and they're still winning. Tough break for Andrew Miller. It looks like an issue on the pit lane for him, and he's 5 laps down in that 88 machine. Travis Crampton also out of the race with a tire issue. That's a tough break for him. So even though we've gone caution-free, there have been a plethora of issues from certain drivers here tonight. What were you saying about Drew Webb there, Stuart? He is closing in really fast. Troxel as well. Oh, that was tight there with Andrew Miller. This 99's on a rail right now. And Drew Webb going for his first career win on the channel. Will he knock off Nicholas Sam Adio for it? But I wouldn't count out Troxel either. He's closed in a lot. And now we got ourselves a 3-horse race for this race win with 20 laps to go at the Kansas Speedway.
Not sure if the 99 came down on the same lap as Sam Adio, but that car is flying at the moment. It's really quick. And Parton's obviously fallen back a little bit as well, so maybe some adjustments made by some of these guys to go on either way. Certainly for Webb, it looks like his car's faster. For Parton, looks like the car's struggling just a little bit more at the moment. Maybe it's more set for a run at the back end, but a second off the lead at the moment.
Yeah, and I think these are three of the strongest teams. If you're talking about teams, these are three of the strongest teams right here. I think DPI is a little bit on the weaker side in terms of the teams, but Tanner Parton's been outperforming that car all season. Troxel, though, for Pacific Racing, they're going for their 4th win as a team this season, and Troxel himself going for his 3rd win of the year. But Sam Medea wants to see those guys battle as long as they can, but Troxel's going to get around Drew Webb there. Of course, Drew Webb was able to get around Troxel earlier on, but I think Drew Webb may have had a bit of a short-run car right there. He closed in fast on Sam Medea, and then fell off the instant he got to him. Closing in on Kukulon again. It's going to be another lapped car these guys are going to have to contend with. Of course, that wreck early on in the race, it did not bring out a caution. Really not helping Hairgel Motorsports out. I mean, I feel bad for Hairgel because I know Hairgel's putting a lot into this team, and they've just not had the results at all. They're dead last in owners' points with Kukulon and Fisher G, and a race like tonight is just going to continue that streak, or that unfortunate streak for those guys. Drew Webb going to get around Troxel again, and he may get held up by Kukulon, which is good news for Sam Medea, trying to get his first win of the season. Sam Medea's got 3 runner-ups this season. 3 of them. And if you want to count the Smooth Fest, he's got 4. He wants 1 position higher. I know he doesn't want yet another runner-up, and a win would put him in the wild card race if he were to fall out of the top 10. It gives you a little bit of a buffer right there. Troxel still stuck behind these guys. Miller's right up to speed with our race leaders, and Tanner Parton closing back in on the 62. Meanwhile, Dylan Matthews, Eric Monaco, and Joe Rutkowski all getting around Echo Evans-Ross. Rogeldorn is now up to 9th, and Christian Master is in 10th. But back up front, Drew Webb in the 99 had a look on Sam Medea, couldn't quite hold it on the inside. Sam Medea going to try to haul him off. Will he be able to do the same thing Tanner Parton did earlier on in this race?
As the tyre wear kicks in, and the longer the run gets, the easier it is for a guy like Sam Medea to hold the lead. But right on cue, Pep goes to the inside here of the 59. He might get him.
If he can hold the inside down the front stretch, he's going to have a shot side by side on lap 54. Traditionally, this would have been the last lap, but we're now at 25% length. But Drew Webb taking the race lead away from Nicholas Sam Medea here. But Sam Medea's not done yet. This 59, I think, might wire it back in and may have a shot in this 99 again. But Drew Webb looking really quick right now for Titan Fury Racing. And Agar Beretta looking to get his first win as an owner this season in the Cup Series. Been a while since he's won in the Cup Series, but he's got an opportunity here tonight for the driver looking to get his first career win on the channel. Hey, I actually think I announced this last week, and Stuart, even you don't know about this. We got the Wawa Winners Showdown coming from Indianapolis during Indy 250 week, which is kind of a pseudo all-star race. Both of these drivers trying to get into it. Troxel's already in it as he's won this season, but only race winners in the Cup Series from this season going to be in that race. It's a special non-points event, and I know Drew Webb would love to be a part of that one, but I know Sam Medea wants to be part of it as well, and Troxel just wants another W for the heck of it. We're going to have a great run here to the finish, and my goodness, I'm sorry, Stuart. This isn't good at all. Another tough run for Matt Tuck. Once again, he's going to fall back a little bit further in the points. He'll still be in the chase, but just one bad run could lead to another, and that's what's happened there for Matt Tuck these past couple of races after he was the points leader 2 weeks ago. Sam Medea trying to close in on Drew Webb, but Drew Webb pulling back away. It's going to be 10 laps to go next time by here at Kansas, and that 99 is looking pretty good.
Gonna be hard to stop. He's looking good, but I tell you what, Troxel, I mean, he got held up by the 52, dropped a long way back, and is closed in, so I count him out of it. And of course, he won at Rockingham with a very good late race run. So
yeah, he led 5 laps in that race.
Yeah.
The 99 lap race led 5 laps. Oh, look at this. I think the caution, is the caution out? I keep on seeing a bit of yellow on that light. I think I'm seeing the actual light itself. My apologies there. Still caution-free so far. Drew Webb did not have a good run through that corner, and Sam Medea closed right back in on him. This race is far from over, folks. Sam Medea's going to have an opportunity. He knows he's been runner-up so many times this season here for this 59. He's got an opportunity at getting it here tonight, though, at Kansas, and He needs it after the tough runs he has had. He's only 4 points ahead of the cutoff coming into this race. Drew Webb is 3 points ahead of the cutoff. Both of these guys want to get this race win. Who wants it more, though? That's the big question. Sam Medio's going to have a good shot right here. I think he's going to close in a little bit. He's not going to be close enough to peek to the inside, though.
Yeah, he's just got to bide his time, maybe just a little bit. We've seen sometimes, you drop back just a little bit, get out of the air of the car in front, get the tyres to cool down a little bit, and then have another crack. Might see that with the 59 potentially, but he's got it. He's pretty close. I don't think he's got a chance. I don't think he's going to get to the inside. He won't. But yeah, but he might be just biding his time a little bit.
Still a solid run. He's still going to stay within the same distance here. He actually might have a shot at peeking to the inside right here. Will he try it? Not quite yet. Sam Medio's been around so long here. So has Thomas Troxel, and both of these guys have so much experience. But Drew Webb, this is his first ever season, and technically only his 14th career start on the channel. So, not that any of that really matters, because, the ratings are what matters in this series. And I know all these guys have been adjusting their ratings. All these teams have been doing that. Nicholas Sam Medio trying once again. He might have a shot this time. He's got a nose to the inside. He's going to put Drew Webb up high. And he's not going to be able to hold on to it. The tire wear really coming into effect now, and I think that's keeping these guys from passing. And Sam Medio had a very poor exit. Troxel to the inside for second, but Sam Medio is going to remain in that second position, and I think he might close back in. I don't know. Drew Webb holding on to it. 5 laps to go, excuse me, here at Kansas in the Great Wolf Lodge 400 for Drew Webb and Titan Fury Racing. And Troxel gonna get Sam Medio way up high right there, and he's gonna officially take second away from the 59. That may have been all Sam Medio had right there. Gonna lose another position, or pseudo position there to Andrew Miller. Of course, Miller 5 laps down here. Oh, that's a tough one for Sam Medio, but Drew Webb now. Will he hold off Thomas Troxel, or will Troxel get his 3rd win of the season? Troxel's the points leader, by the way. He's going to remain the points leader at the end of the night. And this 62 team, they're definitely the team to beat. Sam Medio still ripping it up high, but he's losing time there to these race leaders. 3.5 laps to go here at Kansas.
I swear I just mentioned that Rockingham race, and here he comes. He is really, really closed in. Although Webb with a good run through 4 there, just gets a little bit of advantage. Might be his night tonight, Drew Webb. One thing I should say as well, he actually has the 2nd most top 10s this year, Drew Webb. He's been really good in a lot of races.
6 of them, yeah. Only behind Matt Tuck, and he's actually going to tie Matt Tuck here tonight, as Matt unfortunately had his issue, and that's over half of the races there, and that's good. Drew Webb's kind of been hit or miss, but when he's hit pretty well. And this win is going to shoot him up in those point standings if he gets the win. 2 laps to go at Kansas for Drew Webb and Titan Fury Racing. Thomas Troxel still in second right there, trying to close in, but even he's lost ground. And Sam Medio, regardless of the fact, a much-needed run for him, just still can't quite get to that victory lane here. But Drew Webb trying to hold on to it. He's got 1 more lap to do it here at Kansas. White flag in the air, and how about this for Drew Webb? This came on the pit lane, another strategy call. They had a great adjustment, and it put him in position to get around Sam Medio, get around Tanner Parton. Sam Medio might try for second. Will be the 4th runner-up finish for Sam Medio this season. I think it's going to be the first win for Drew Webb, though. In the 99, they're spread out enough where Troxel's not going to have an opportunity. And Drew Webb, first career win on the channel. He gets it done in the Great Wolf Lodge 400 at Kansas. Troxel finishes second. Sam Medio in 3rd. Tanner Parton's going to hold on the 4th. And Joe Rutkowski, the Sprint Series driver, in 5th. Monaco in 6th. Dylan Matthews, Echo Evans, Ross, LJ Semedo, and Rogel Dorn. Watch out for Rogel Dorn. He may make that top 10. But how about Drew Webb there in that 99? Titan Fury Racing gets it done. This team is strong, and Drew Webb, he might be a good threat for this championship. We're seeing so many different drivers now really start to come out and make their own here in the Wawa Cup Series, and Drew Webb with the victory here in the Great Wolf Lodge 400 at Kansas. Well, Stuart. caution-free here at the Kansas Speedway. Only our third caution-free race of the season and our second on an oval where cautions are turned on. A great clean race outside of that one wreck that happened earlier on. But how about Drew Webb right there? Great run for him there in Titan Fury Racing.
Yeah, ran a couple of times up in the up to a number of times up to the front of the field, as I mentioned before. I think he's turned it around. He was down in the points. I remember at probably about Circuit the Americas. He was a bit further down in the points, bottom half of the table. He's really turned it on in recent weeks. He's been very competitive, very fast, a lot of races, and tonight, he wasn't up there really. He wasn't up there. We had 9 cars break away from the field. He was not one of those cars. That the adjustments on pit road and the actual pit stop, the speed of the pit stop, and got him the victory. Drove the car very well. He deserves it.
Absolutely. Thomas Troxel, another solid run for Troxel, and even though he's got only 2 wins on the season, I feel like Troxel, like I've said before, is the guy to beat this year. Sam Adio, again, Sam Adio, if he didn't get caught up in all those wrecks and all those issues, remember Talladega, he had the issue right at the start of the race, and he came in 4 points ahead of the cutoff. It's going to be a little bit more for him there, but Stewart, I feel bad for your guy Matt Tuck. That's the second straight week where he's had an issue after having a good run as well. And this has happened to Matt Tuck so much this season. Remember Phoenix? I know you remember Phoenix. And he just keeps on having all these good runs, but doesn't back it up at the end of the race. And if he was able to back up just 2 of those races, he'd easily still be the points leader. But now he's kind of getting a little close to that cutoff, I feel like. And Crampton and Keys, those are 2 guys who have wins. They're in that wild card race. They didn't get anything here today, as they both had issues as well. And then Seth Cole caught up in that accident. Very interesting and unique race here at the Kansas Speedway, no doubt about it, but I had a lot of fun with this one. Good to see a caution-free race, a bit of a shorter race here, as we lead into the next week's race at the Darlington Raceway. And who knows what we're going to see there. That's where the finale is going to be in September for the Southern 500. We got ourselves the 400 coming up, the South Carolina Education Lottery 400. And Stuart, that is a very unique racetrack. We see a lot of carnage there, even though we don't see a lot of cautions sometimes. That exit at turn 2 is an issue, so longevity, reliability is going to be an issue, and just keeping your car clean is going to be an issue. How do you think that race is going to play out, especially knowing that the finale is going to be there in about 3.5 months from now?
Well, I'll tell you what, I was going to say, this race is more of a race of attrition than I kind of expected, in terms of there were quite a number of cars that had issues throughout, and obviously we had the accident earlier, but a lot of the cars at the back there, I saw Laura Chung had a problem late on. I don't know what that was all about, for example, but obviously Matt Tuck had a problem. And, Darlington's going to be harder on the cars than Kansas will. So it's really going to be important, particularly for the last race in the year, get a good understanding of the track, how it behaves, and how the car behaves on the racetrack. So it is going to be an important race. All these races are important from here on. Every single race is important for the rest of the year, up until the chase begins. So it's going to be one to watch in terms of who is up there and how they perform.
Absolutely. It's going to be fascinating to see how the top 10 end up shaking out once we finally get to Nashville and close out the regular season, because so many different drivers are starting to peek their name into that top 10 that we really haven't seen yet, and Drew Webb included in that. And Tanner Parton. Did I just forget about Tanner Parton? He led the most laps in this race, I believe, but still got a top 5, and he's going to move himself into that top 10 as well. Allier had a solid run. I don't know. These points are going to be fascinating. No doubt about it. You're going to see him here in just a minute. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. Take a look at the rest of the results one more time. And a huge thanks to Stuart Gratton for, I'm recording this race at 11:30 at night, but the good thing is he lives in Australia, so for him it's the middle of the day, so I don't feel as bad about keeping him because it's not late at night for him right now, which is good. It's late night for me. I worked 10 hours today, and I wanted to get this done, and it's done. And Drew Webb is glad it's done because he is the winner here in the Great Wolf Lodge 400 at Kansas. We'll see you guys next week on Saturday, noon Eastern time from the Darlington Raceway. Excited for that one. And, that's all I got. Here are the points for the Wawa Cup Series after 13 races? I'm losing count now. I think 13 races. And, we will see you guys in a week's time for the South Carolina Education Lottery 400. Congratulations to Drew Webb on his race victory, and I will see you guys later.